Okay, it's Property Nostradamus here. Look, I wanted to talk to you today about my predictions. Now, may or may not come true, but anyway, take it with a grain of salt. So, what I think's happening, obviously around major markets in the country, there's housing growth due to low interest rates, first homeowner concessions, where else do I put my money because nothing else is giving me any decent returns, term deposits are low, all those things. I think in order to slow the growth, they will have to not necessarily increase interest rates, but definitely cap the amount of investors that are coming into the market. So I think there'll be some restrictions on multiple lending. So investors trying to get back into the market, their servicing may be reduced or penalties applied to them. I don't think it'll hurt the first homeowner market because Australia wants first homeowners to get into the market, generally speaking, but it'll definitely cap investors. Now, whether that might be the amount that they can borrow or the larger deposits required, I don't know, but that's my thoughts on that. Not necessarily interest rates rising, because that's not going to help the economy as such. In respect to the markets, I see affordability being a major issue in a lot of areas. The Sydney and Melbourne, your major markets in Australia, housing is very unaffordable. So what does that mean for Sydney and Melbourne? Well, I buy something that I can afford. Now, what does that look like? Well, it's a townhouse or a unit in the same location. I want to be in this particular suburb or this area for schools. I'm going to buy a 3-bedroom townhouse, or I'm going to buy a 2-bedroom unit. So I see a lot of interest in that type of market, which hasn't really been there for the last 4 or 5 years, and in some cases there's been some oversupply. So I see that gaining momentum depending on the type of product that it is. The overseas gates will open eventually, don't know when, but when they do, that will also bring an influx of buyers. Generally speaking, that will also help the unit market if students are coming over to universities. So yeah, keep an eye on the university situations, but also the floodgates of overseas investors or migration into Australia, definitely. The sub-$1 million markets are where it's at. $1 million plus, if someone's to get into that market, conservatively they need minimum 150, 200K to get in there. It's a lot of money to save up over time. So that sub-$1 million market is where I would be identifying, or where I'd be looking to maybe put my money, because the 500, the 600K markets are now extremely affordable. The yields are pretty good, and a lot of suburbs around them may be $1 million suburbs already. So yeah, that's where I see I suppose us being in that space for the next 12 to 24 months. So they're my predictions, rightly or wrongly. That's my thoughts. That's what I think's going to happen in the next year, 2 years. It's an interesting time. It's very unusual that we see all housing markets, or most housing markets, moving in a positive direction. Usually markets are working on their own, but yeah, unprecedented. That word's been used a lot, but it's definitely surprised a lot of people post-COVID, but that's the way I see it happening. And look, take it or leave it. We'll chat soon. Thank you.